Thank you. Hey, keep it going one more time for Patty Vasquez, everyone. Let her hear it. We've got a lot of listeners here, right? How often you get the driving at home song stuck in your head? All the time, right? Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's not. You guys read any good lists lately? You guys read anything good on the internet the last 24 hours? Pretty wild stuff, huh? Anyone shocked? I'm not. Not at all. Here's what I will say. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the release of the Epstein list over the last 24 hours. I want to speak on behalf of people on the left because a lot of my Trump-supporting friends will push back and be like, hey, dude, what about Bill Clinton? What if Bill Clinton's on the list? To that, I respond, I don't give a shit. This guy was president when I was 10. Clinton was president when I was 10. I don't care. Also, if Clinton is on the list, which it appears he's on the list like 100 million times, him and Trump could share a cell together. I heard they like each other a lot. I don't know if you guys heard that part of the list either. It gets graphic. Don't read it around children. It's good to be here. I actually came here after my sophomore homecoming homecoming dance. You don't have a homecoming prom, that doesn't make sense. But after the homecoming dance, we came here. I was in this exact room. It was a wonderful time, so it's amazing to be here. Let's see, high school was about 4 or 5 years ago. So yeah, why are you guys laughing? Do I not look like a fresh-faced 24-year-old? I don't look like that? All right, that's nice. I do travel a lot as a stand-up comedian, so again, doing a show in my neighborhood is always a perk. Traveling can be fun. Sometimes you get to go to really cool places, New Orleans, New York, Denver. Other times you get whisked away to magical places like Rockford, Illinois, and you start thinking maybe I should have taken that fireman's test. Maybe that would have been a better career path. Anyone here from Rockford? No? Good. Of course not. You're from Rockford? I'll speak slower. That's an old one. Come on. That's an old one. If you guys have never been to Rockford, it's one of those places that always looks like it just rained, even if it hadn't. I've been to Rockford. I'm like, you guys get a bad storm recently? And they're like, no, it hasn't rained for months. I'm like, why are there puddles everywhere? There's just puddles. And I think it's because when you live in Rockford, you'll go for a walk to clear your head, and then you just stop and start crying your eyes out because you live in Rockford, and that forms puddles. I want to let you know I'm not going to do my entire set making fun of Rockford, but I very much could. I could if I wanted to. I am going to Arizona in a couple weeks to do some shows. That'll be fun, although last time I was in Arizona, I got into it with a guy. After the show, I'm wearing a Chicago Bears shirt, and this guy said, Bears, you must be from Chicago. And I said, wow, you're a quick one. Yeah. He then told me I hate Chicago. And I was like, oh, did you have a bad time there or something? He goes, nope, never been. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll bite. Why do you hate a place you've never been to? And he goes, I don't like Chicago because you guys are a sanctuary city. Yeah, I don't like that. That's what he said. He goes, I don't like that you guys are helping migrants. And I told him, well, you're wrong. You got it wrong because migrants bring a lot to a community. They've been a tremendous addition to the city of Chicago. And I told him about a great story, a great interaction I had with one of the migrants that came here. Remember you guys, we had a really hot October, last October. It was really hot. And I had a nice time, visiting all sorts of friends. And I remember being really parched. I was thirsty. My air conditioning wasn't working in my car. I was at the corner of Fullerton and Western. And I'm like, man, I am hot. But I do not want to get out of my car to buy a Gatorade. You know, it'd be really nice if there was a person at this corner right now selling cold beverages. That'd be amazing. I looked out my window, lo and behold, there he was. He was there. This was a lovely man. He was from Colombia. I talked to him a little bit, and I said, dude, how much for your Gatorades? He said, $1. I'm like, $1 for a blue Gatorade? I'm going to buy all your Gatorades. What do you think of that? How much for the cooler? Let's get you into a studio apartment. I'm here to help, It's one of the good ones, right? And I told him, I go, hey, do you know where you could benefit from people selling cold drinks on the side of the road? Arizona, where it's 115 fucking degrees every day. By the way, I realized Patty didn't say the F word at all. I said one, and a few of you looked at me like, whoa. I can't help it. I was born Irish Catholic and a Cubs fan. I learned to swear early. You learn to swear early when you root for those things. I remember that once. I swore at a Cubs game, and a parent looked at me like, excuse me? And I'm like, you're raising your kid to be a Cubs fan. Trust me, he's going to be dropping F-bombs by the 6th. Are you kidding me? Like, this was before we were winning, by the way. This was a while ago. But yeah, it's weird how people react to Chicago. Look, yeah, we got a reputation. Chicago's reputation for being violent. I get it, right? We all heard it a million times over. But what drives me nuts is it's not nearly as bad as it was when I was a kid. Chicago's murder rate in the 90s was much higher than it's been the last 5-6 years. But nobody talks about that. And I think the big difference is we have 24-hour news networks and social media scaring the shit out of people, right? You know what I mean? We all know that one person who has to share the link every time a gangbanger cuts a fart, right? They go, oh my God, did you see what happened? It's like, yeah, move on. It's a city. This stuff happens. Here's what kills me, though. Chicago was #1 for total murders, but also #1 for worst traffic. You can't have both of those. All that tells me is that we're killing the wrong people. That's all that's... Like, whenever I watch the local news and they're like, man killed on a city bus, I'm like, damn it, he's not part of the problem, right? He's taking public transportation. He's not messing up lane mergers. But when I hear about someone getting shot in their Dodge Neon, I'm like, you know what? They probably didn't use their turn signal. We need less of that guy. Also, if you're still driving a Dodge Neon, you need to look inward, figure out what's going on with you. Yeah, I remember it was a completely different attitude in regards to being a violent city in the 90s. Completely different attitude. Because again, when people say, oh, it's never been so bad, they're wrong. And I always like to ask them, when was it good? I don't know if you guys know this, but we've been killing it for like a century now, right? We're always amongst the league leaders. Get this, we sell Al Capone t-shirts at the airport. That's wild, right? That guy was responsible for like hundreds of murders. We landed O'Hare. You got his big mug on his shirt saying, welcome to Chicago, have a slice. I just want to be able to land at Midway and buy a Latin King t-shirt. Let's even it out, you know what I mean? Let's just even it out a little. That'd be fun, right? That'd be nice. I remember it was June 1996, talking about the different attitudes between Chicago's violence then to now. June of 1996, I'm at a local block party. Right? We all love a good Chicago block party, especially in this part of the city. And the Bulls were playing Game 2 of the NBA Finals against the Seattle Supersonics. Right? Big event. Such a big event that nobody on the block wanted to miss the game. So a couple neighbors brought their TV out onto the street so we could watch the game while being outside. Do you guys remember how big TVs were in 1996? It took 8 people to bring this TV out, which looking back tells me this was a big game. But here was the difference. The Bulls won. We're all excited on the block. It cuts to the local news. Local news leads off with Bulls talk. Then it cut to this. It said, we are halfway through the year 1996. And if Chicago continues on this path, we will overtake New York City for most murders in America. I remember I was like 11 at the time, so I heard that. I was kind of like, I didn't know how to react. Do you know how the neighbors reacted? Fuck yeah, baby, woo! That's right, New York, your pizza sucks. Your gangs can't shoot. We know the Knicks can't shoot. Like, we had pride in things back then, right? It was good to be #1, you know? And you know what the difference was? We were winning championships. That was the difference. When your city wins championships, you look the other way on some crime and poverty, right? So if the Bears win, I think we'll look the other way. I shouldn't have thrown in the word poverty. That made you guys feel. You guys I forgot where I was. I've been doing the road too much. You know what I mean? Like, when you're around good people, they hear poverty and they get sad. But, you know, again, these are all jokes. I'm not pro-murder, just to be clear. Just to be clear. Look, I like to shave 10 minutes off my Kennedy commute too, but I don't want anyone to die for it, just to be clear. You never know. People get weird. A little personal story with my life. As of today, I am 339 days sober. Thank you. Thank you. I still do lots of cocaine. But no, you guys are going to love the rest of this show. That part of it's going to make you a little tight. I actually don't. That was clearly a joke. No person would give up alcohol but still do that. That doesn't make sense. They're like peanut butter and jelly. But no, it's been a good choice for me. Here's the thing though. I got to tell you guys this. When you quit drinking, you get asked a lot of stupid questions. Questions that are kind of like insensitive when you think about it. Here is a common question. And nobody would ever ask this for any other addiction, right? Like if I gave up crystal meth, people wouldn't say to me, so like, you're never gonna have crystal meth again? Like just never? So just no more crystal meth. Like not even for St. Patrick's Day. Just like no more. That's wild. Here's a really stupid question you could ask someone who's newly sober. Hey man, did something happen? Yeah, duh. Like nobody wakes up in the morning and decides to stop being awesome. Yeah, something happened. 338 days ago to be exact. That's what everyone's sober anniversary is. It's just a countdown from one of their worst moments in their life. That's why nobody's sober anniversary is January 1st, you know? Because you don't get to choose the day. The day chooses you. Next time you're on Facebook and you see someone celebrating a sober anniversary, notice the date. It's always a random date, right? Like if you see it and it's like, oh, February 7th, 3 years sober today. That means someone had a bad February 6th 3 years ago, right? Things went south. Someone lost custody. It got bad, all right? So be nice. Don't ask so many dumb questions. But I'll tell you this. I got to wrap this up, and you guys got so much more good show to go. The world's so serious right now. I want to end with a silly one. I started partaking in this other vice. It's marijuana. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's legal now, so that you don't have to be weird about it. We could all do it. It's fine. They've got THC drinks now. They're great, right? You get a nice little calmness about it. And by the way, marijuana, I wish, I was never a pothead until this last year, and I'm still not one, but kind of. But, well, my friends ask me, they go, dude, who gets into weed at the age of 40? Like, why weren't you smoking it the last 25 years like everyone else? I told them the truth. Fucking DARE program, man. They got to me. They got to me. I fell for it. And now I'm just the annoying guy in the circle of people because I'm smoking weed with guys these are seasoned veterans. These guys, they're in the union. You know what I mean? You gotta respect. I'm just some young apprentice asking dumb questions. Because when you're new to that drug, you get the giggles. Everything's hilarious. I was smoking with them recently and I'm like, guys, you ever think of this? You ever think of this, fellas? Why is it when it's freezing outside, your nipples get hard? But your penis gets soft. What's that about, huh, guys? And they all looked at me and said, you should start drinking again. Actually, we missed that guy. You guys were a lot of fun tonight. Enjoy the rest of the show. Keep fighting the good fight. Cheers.
Joe Kilgallon, check out his podcast, Joe Kilgallon Podcast on Instagram, YouTube. Neighborhood Kid.